Today we will speak about visual and moving art in well-being. My name is Anna Shvets, and I'm very happy to see you all here, 23 people now. That's amazing. Today we will speak about art, but not about art in sense of art market numbers, always this this willing to earn more and so on. Today we will speak about art in its real mission to make our lives better. I hope that you will learn something new today, and definitely you will be inspired. We will speak about impact of visual moving art on well-being, highlighting the therapeutic benefits and the role of art in enhancing mental and emotional health. We will see case studies from our real life, and we will see what initiatives are helping people through art. And I'm pleased to introduce our today's speakers. Elizabeth Markevitch. Elizabeth is the founder of IkonoTV platform. It is the first art-only streaming platform that transcends boundaries to bring the scenery and healing of slow art videos into everyday spaces and like hospital rooms, hospital waiting rooms. And Elizabeth also a TEDx speaker, activist, the member of Catalyst 2030, as I am. Her advocacy intertwines with art, intertwines art with environment situation now and Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, as you know. It is very interesting to meet these people like Elizabeth, and we will learn more about her amazing initiatives that she's engaged with. And of course, Joe Orrach, a versatile artist, choreographer, performer, storyteller, and maybe you can't believe it, but it is very interesting fact about Joe. He transitioned from boxing career, very successful boxing career, to dance, specializing in tap. He organized Joe Orrach Performance Project, and he empowers young people from underprivileged neighborhoods to tell their own stories through dance, through rhythm, through movement and voice. And he has received recognition for his teaching, and he's with us today, and he will teach us something very interesting and very useful for our everyday life. And I'm Anna Shvets. I'm producer of international art events, independent curator, art manager, and art educator. I'm CEO of TAtchers Art Management. We do different art projects. We do art research. And I also a founder of Art Ambassadors. I will speak about this initiative. And I'm really very happy person because I do crazy projects. I do projects in glaciers of Antarctica, on volcanoes in Europe, in underwater beauties of Galapagos Islands, to name some. So, it is very interesting because our geography today is very versatile too. I represent Latin America. I'm based in Quito, Ecuador, Elizabeth, Europe, and Joe from United States. Okay, cool. We are ready to start. And please, if you have some questions during our conversation, feel free to write them in chat or raise your hand. And we also will have the question and answer session in the end of this webinar, of this session. And yeah, and we are happy to start. And you're also welcome to share your experience when we will discuss some different facets of the questions that we are exploring today. Okay, I'm happy to give microphone, this Zoom microphone, to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, please tell us about what you're doing daily. I know you're working hard on what you're doing, and please let us know when did people understand that they can use art, or that art have this therapeutic effect, and when it all started. Please, Elizabeth.
Well, thank you, Anna. Thank you to Catalyst to offer us this platform. I'm a proud member of Catalyst, and I think Anna too, because Anna and I, like she started to say, we are convinced that art is not just this nice thing to have, to hang on your walls or whatever, or to entertain you from time to time. We're convinced that art should be part of a society, and that artists are fantastic actors for maybe looking at our lives from a completely different point of view, have a distance to it. And because artists have this, I always say they have a sixth sense that we don't have. They see things, they can forecast things. And sometimes years, they can see that something is getting wrong, and they warn us with their works or talks, and we just don't know how to listen to them and look at what they are saying. I originally came from an art market background and thought that it was completely wrong to look at it only from the price tag of a work of art. And that if we look at the price tag of a work of art, it means that we are basically erasing from the map 99.9% of the artists that we have all around us, and that we don't see us. And so, to make a long story short, yes, I created and founded IkonoTV. And IkonoTV was this idea that we were going to share and bring art and an art experience. And this is the big difference of what we do with, from time to time, what you can see on TV or whatsoever with documentaries and everything, which of course I have nothing against, but they most of the time are attracting the people who already know and who want to learn more. And I think there is one problem we did in the art world, is that we told people you have to understand art in order to appreciate it. And I totally disagree. And this is where I compared art with music and did a comparison between the two, and discovered that in fact there is a lot of similarity, because we can compare the concert and the museum world, and that they're both basically a place where you go to experience in the same room the people who are there for the same reason, an art experience. But what music did is that it did use every single technology, starting with radio. And 120 years ago, it started to broadcast music on radio and build up a business with the labels. And fast forward today, you have Spotify, which is in fact a mix of both. And at the end of the day, sells tickets back to the concert hall, meaning it's a whole world on its own, which single actors now are working hand in hand. If you look at the art world, we basically have the museum, we go to a gallery, we sell one work to one person, and ciao, that's it. And so, to give you an example in terms of the price tag and why this theory of the price tag for me doesn't hold, is that if an artist can be recognized only by the price tag, then what would you say about Van Gogh? Van Gogh was an artist who never sold a painting during his lifetime. And nevertheless, he's today the most expensive painter at auction, for example. So Ikono, we've been starting by broadcasting. We've been showing films from contemporary artists, which are not documentaries and no interviews. They're really what we call in the art world video art, which are pure, beautiful works, most of the time without any narration and absolutely not about entertainment, but can speak to you thanks to their visuals. And I didn't want to do only contemporary. I wanted to also bring all masters. And this how came the idea that if we want to bring something to the people, we should bring a kind of visual storytelling. And this is where I have a team of art historians teaming up with filmmakers, and together they do slow art. I will show you later what it is, but there's been a side effect. And the side effect, I knew that people liked what we were doing, that it was making them feel more calm and things like this. But we needed the COVID and the pandemic to make it acknowledged by big institutions such as the WHO, seeing that, yes, indeed, our films do have a direct effect. So that's the therapeutic effect. But here you're seeing, for example, an image which shows you that in the 12th century, we started already, at least in Europe, bringing art, commissioning artists to do art for hospitals. So here you have one of the oldest hospitals, which is today not a hospital anymore. It became a museum, but it's basically remained, as it is. And it shows you that at the time, we had this kind of holistic point of view. We were looking at life in a holistic way. We were seeing, of course, you were here with nurse, and they were all, religious paintings and everything, but they would see that the soul and the body was all one. And this is why they were bringing, religious, artists and medicine of what we could do at the time. Fast forward to about 100 years ago when we invented what we call the school medicine today. We broke that. We broke that completely, meaning we put the head on one hand, we put the body on the other hand, and we even put the body in different parts, because you have specialists of the heart, specialists of the stomach, specialists of the eyes, when most of the time there is an origin. And so to bring it back to Catalyst, this is exactly what we decided to do with Anna and others, to create Artsy, which is the two slide before, which is this, we did it within Catalyst and originally for Catalyst, which was exactly this idea that let's put everything together and look at all our problems, and specifically the SDGs, in a holistic way, and stop making, on one hand, I find it great, the SDGs, but it's separate 17 SDGs. And on one hand, I think we should put them all together. And they all have, little moments where you need more of this and more of that. But there is always one problem. The source remains the same. So, this is what we've been doing. And with the slow art, if you go on the next slide, Anna, we are starting, to talk to a lot of hospitals. We did put that in some hospitals in London for testing and things like this. Now we are talking a lot with hospitals in America, and the idea is to bring these films as a playlist with all this slow art we've done, because there is nobody talking and you can just pure beauty. You're showing a PDF, not the original sign. So you're not seeing the films here, nevertheless. So the idea was really to bring this, because if there is one very stressy place, these are waiting rooms in hospitals, but you have other stressful place. You have, airport lounges, you have senior homes, you have a lot of things. So you can bring this to people in a way that it's to calm them. And on top, we discovered that, staff in the hospitals, they love it, because we all know since the COVID that staff have been under a lot of pressure, and still are a lot of pressure, but we suddenly took conscious of that for now, and that doctors prefer to have an unfearful patient coming to their rooms, instead of because at least they're open to listen and things like this. So yes, so this is what we do, and I love it. And there are tons of other things we're doing, like Anna was saying at the beginning, because we're doing a lot of things for climate change and so on, where art can be really this complementary explanation, visually or not, to what scientists are trying to tell us, but it can be in every single domain. So yeah, I hope I was not too long.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. Now on your screen, you can see some piece of this slow art series. And actually, I really invite you to explore this platform, to go, and you will definitely find something for you. Instead of watching news that are very terrible these days, like turbulence politic, always stress, stress, stress from TV, I just recommend you to go to IkonoTV Art and to find channel that you will find really, I don't know, relaxing or informative, or you will find there some artistic expressions on different topics, and that will be really therapeutic. I do it. I have this application on my plasma screen in my bedroom, and when I have a lot of this, you know, stress and emotions and anxiety, that thing is helping me very much. Okay.
Like Anna was just saying, yes, we have a website, but I really invite you to look at it on a big screen. We have an app on every, I think I can say on every single brand. We developed a lot of apps on all the smart TV brands, and you can download it at your home. So yeah, I think we will speak later about what's happening in museums or hospitals or other experience. No, you will decide.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we will come back to this topic because it is very important to speak about which places can be places for art, where it can be relevant, where it can be helpful. And if you don't mind, I'll go to Joe. I want to introduce you to Joe and his initiatives that he is involved in, and he's a very creative person, and it is very inspiring to see how movement and understanding of your body and feeling the rhythm of your body can be helpful in very difficult situations. For example, we all know that sometimes the topic of immigrants or kids from ghetto districts can be very difficult in terms of these guys are deciding how to live their lives and which way to choose, or they go to criminal way, or they go to some creative way and find their personality in this way. Okay, Joe, please tell us more about your initiative, your daily activities, what you're doing.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Elizabeth, thank you. God, all of the, art is art is art. And listening to you, Elizabeth, there's so many crossovers. My overall focus is to try to get, it's young people, but I've taught in prison. Right here, there's a very big state prison here, and I went and did a show there, and then I work with these inmates, and we're all the same, right? We're all the same. There's some circumstances that gets us in different places, but everyone's hungry to have a voice. And for me, art gave me my voice. And, I just know how strong and how powerful it is. And so I teach a lot of young people in the in what we call in America the hood, or places that are underserved, mostly Black and brown. And I don't, I teach them dance, I teach them storytelling, I'm teaching them different things, but I'm really teaching them to find a place where they can discover who they are. And there's so much exterior, there's so much noise and distraction that we strip away. And they cannot have a phone on them or any gadget on them for 2 hours. And they not only do they have to shut it off, it can't be on their person because it's a distraction. And so what I'm trying to teach them is what does it feel like to be with yourself? What does that feel like? And so one way I do it is through rhythm. So so to be here doing, or what was it? So to do that, you can't be thinking of something else. You can't be worried about your boyfriend or your girlfriend or the problem. So once you're what I call vertical, you're literally here, you're tapping you and what I believe is the spirit, the energy, the universe. And like Elizabeth, I believe it's a mind, body, spirit experience, this life. And I try to share that with them. And it's incredible. It's incredible. For example, I went into one high school that the kids really couldn't read well. And it's very sad. Because I think everyone's birthright is to read and write, to experience everything. So they couldn't read well. So we did Shakespeare, we did Romeo and Juliet. And I said, so what do you think that means? And they'd say, well, it means this. I said, how do you know that? Say, mister, it's right there. So these are young people who have everything anyone else has, but they weren't provided the opportunity. So I just think arts can turn people inside out. I've seen young boys and girls go from what Anna was saying, from really a path going the wrong way and possibly winding up in a state penitentiary, and have become graduated from university, and some have gone into art, some have gone into the science, but the arts opened that up for them. And so what I do is I really try to give them, I not even give them, I try to help them discover their voice. And I do it in many different ways. And I really try not to go do this, because I really try to really encourage them to discover it themselves. And it's fascinating, and it's really changed my life. It's changed my life to work with these young people. And some of them, I teach from 8 years old up to the university. And some of those 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, boys and girls, I'll go in a Saturday morning when I'm like, what am I doing? It's too early. And I leave 2 hours later, I walk off out of the studio about 4 feet off the ground, because this exchange of energy and in the moment and being vertical, because that age, they're genius. We haven't gotten totally in their way, adults. So I try to teach all of this, and its movement and its rhythm, and I believe it's storytelling, to let them access their power. Because once you find your voice, then you have a place anywhere in this universe. And so that's why, for me, it's great. And Anna, Elizabeth, I agree with you. Whether it's in a hospital, whether it's in a museum, people, if they can kind of hook up like this to themselves, all of that angst and that nervous, it just kind of goes down. So the last thing I'll share is that I went out on the bay with them. I live in Berkeley, so I took 90 kids, my partner, and of course some other teachers with us. But I organized 90 kids to go out on outriggers, canoe. So like 5 and 6 and 7 of them to go out in the bay. And some of these young people have never been on the water. And just to see how they changed from that, because that it's to see that beauty for me is another experience of art. So we try to make them just to see things a little bit differently, and it's really to start from within, the inside out. So yeah, that's I don't know what else. I mean, Anne, if you want to be, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, so much. I'm just regretting that you are so far from Ecuador. Yeah, definitely one day we should meet, maybe to do something together. I'm dreaming of it, and
Absolutely.
that is amazing to see how our careers can be helpful for people, how we can find in art our mission, and not just take, but give. And more you give, art can be excellent instrument to open eyes, to change vision. I mean, to change your point of view on life. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Joe. We will come back to Joe because we have a little secret for you during this session. And I would like to share some case studies from my life with you and to show you that, okay, let's think what is well-being. Yeah, let's think how we feel well, what makes us feel well when we have this moral wellness, we have this situation of balanced mind, when we feel secure, when we feel healthy, and there are different like facets of this word, and I'd like to share with you some difficult situations that I was trying to manage with art. Okay, let me see. Okay. Here you can see the initiative, the association, the network that I founded when the war started. I mean, war between Russia and Ukraine. For me, being mix of Russian and Ukrainian blood, it was absolutely devastating. It was terrible, terrible tragedy. And when the war began, let's say our well-being was completely destroyed. It was completely destroyed. We didn't know how to live our lives, where to go, how to find the justice, because we are completely against this terrible, terrible war that ruining millions of lives. And okay, a lot of words. You understand that war is the most terrible thing on this world. And I decided to start to gather people from culture, curators, artists, art entrepreneurs, art researchers, and we organized this union, this decentralized union community for people from arts to continue to work, to continue to bring culture and art to community, and to leave hope for those people who continue to live in Russia and continue to try to change this society to better using art. And that was amazing that it was really helpful for us. We were doing like foresight sessions, like psychological help, meditation sessions, and so on, because we were completely destroyed. I think that like 100% of art workers, Russian-speaking art workers, they were against Russia, against war, and we continue to be together, to help each other, and help with work, help with different documents that can be helpful if somebody decided to move out of Russia and so on. Okay, that is the initiative. And now we have very, very huge geography. We are from Russia, but we are everywhere in the world, and we are still helping each other and initiating more initiatives to show that art can be this connecting power, and art can be stronger than death, than war, and that is absolutely amazing, and we will continue to do it. Next project that I was creating many years ago, but still this project was dedicated to people with, let's say, different situations that happened with their bodies. They were in car accidents, or they were born with different alterations of body. And we invited them to show their bodies, to praise their bodies. And we made this wonderful photo that was, I don't remember, like 10 meters on 8 meters. And we showed their bodies without shame, without this feeling of pain. We were showing beautiful bodies of men and women, and they were proud of themselves. And we made this beautiful photo, and we made this educational program. We gathered people to show that, okay, if you have different body, you still can live, you still can create, you still can be, you can be like, to have this feeling of secureness and honor in your body. And it was amazing. It was a project with video, with photos, with big exhibition and conversations around this topic. And it was amazing to work in this project together with my team. Another project that was very, let's say, very difficult to work in. There is a foundation that is dedicated to kids with cancer in Russia that is called Gift of Life, Подари жизнь. And twice I was invited to be curator for the exhibition of artworks of these kids. These kids were going through chemical therapy, and they were in the process of recovering, or they were in the process of getting medicine. And to distract from these hospitals and medicines and all this stuff, we were making art with them. We were working with a lot of volunteers, and we were working for, I guess, 5-month period to present exhibition. Every time we were choosing different museums, and that was amazing, because this art creation was therapeutic for these kids. Okay, not always it was such a bright, happy event, because sometimes when I was starting work as a curator on this project, I had a list, I don't know, for 50 kids. And for the opening of exhibition, only 40 of them were alive. But it was very strong manifestation of life. These exhibitions, they were full of colors, full of joy, full of happiness. They were showing the world how they see it with children's eyes. And that was amazing. And I don't know, probably it was the second exhibition, when during the production process, I've learned that my father got cancer. And that was terrible, terrible, terrible situation, when I needed to, I don't know, to overcome my inner sufferness and help these kids, and also help my father during the same period of month. But we conquered cancer of my father, and we continued to work with these kids, and that was amazing, amazing, amazing project. New technologies, and here you can see my grandpa. He he is 90 on this photo, and once I was living already in capital and Moscow, and I came back to him, and I brought him this little thing where you put your telephone, and you can walk through fine art museum exhibitions. And he was so curious, and this little thing that was filling his life with art, that gave him so much life forces, that he was so happy, and he was like, tell me, Anna, I like this exhibition, I like this artwork. And here we can see that for elderly people who are already not so mobile as we are, like traveling around the world, but we still have to bring art to them using new technologies, as for example, Elizabeth does with her IkonoTV art platform. We should do it. And yeah, it was very, very strong and beautiful experience. And then I wrote to this technical team of this museum that, guys, you made my grandpa so happy, so happy. And it was amazing that now I work a lot with this team, with this person who was the leader of this amazing project. Yeah, here I have to be silent already, and I stop share the screen, so you can see that art can be helpful for our moral situation when we are when we need to be strong against a war, when we need to be strong against of cancer or other diseases, when we need to speak about different bodies and to give this empowerment to these people, or to help elderly people to feel included, to feel that art can be also part of their life. Okay, I think that we saw different situations and art can be really helpful. And now I want to invite my colleagues speakers today to some kind of discussion. Elizabeth, can you share with us some numbers about science behind of art influence on our body? I know that you have these numbers. I will share the screen with some data.
So as you were talking about your grandfather and his pleasure of discovering art in this little iPhone box and everything, it reminds me an experience which was done and started in 2018 in Montreal, where the director of the museums managed to convince all the associations of doctors in the city of Montreal, saying, if you have a patient who seems to be extremely worried about his or her health, or just stressful or whatever, and that you think it could make something, could help, please prescribe them a free entry at the museum. This initiative still runs, and it's an amazing initiative because it's been extremely successful, where it did allow people to go to the museum for most of them for the first time. It acknowledged the fact that just looking at art can help, because what Anna was showing you, for example, with what we call art therapy, we know that for many years that by making art, it helps you to calm down. And again, during the pandemic, a lot of people have been buying these coloring books and doing to just calm themselves already by being stuck at home or whatever. And here you would bring people at the museum. This specific image is another experience which happened during the pandemic in Amsterdam at the Rijksmuseum, where it's an initiative, private initiative from a guy who has a small company for ambulance. And he went to see people in the hospitals who he knew were about to die in the next days, and asked them, would you like me to bring you somewhere for the last time? And he had a lot of people asking him, I would like to go back to the Rijksmuseum to see my favorite painting. And this is a fantastic photo of somebody that we're bringing in their bed in the museum. So it shows you also that and this is what the latest scientific report have been showing, is that by just looking at art, it has the same effect. So here you have some numbers. When you go to a museum, and if you're not having an art experience yet, or you're not used to it, meaning you probably don't even know how to look at art properly, because you have to train your eyes. It's like everything. There's some music you heard for the same time, you didn't like it at the first time, and then you have to hear it, listen to it 4 or 5 times, and suddenly, yes, you want to download the whole album or whatever. So the average time of somebody who has no idea about art, looking at art, is not more than 5 seconds, which is really a poor number, of course. But on the other hand, when we say that, if you look at it, we see that the cortisol levels can, drop almost instantly if it's not more than 60%. And we discovered also that and there has been some report in the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, where people were really saying that they have this feeling of stress of 75%. The last number, which is 80%, shows you also why we've been focusing on old master when it comes to our slow art films. It is that when you don't have an art experience, you are not ready yet to experience contemporary art. Because if you do, people have this tendency to say, oh, I can do that too, or my son could do the same, or whatsoever. While with old masters like the Rembrandt we saw before, or whoever, Renaissance, Italian Renaissance, people see, even if they don't know anything about the artist, can't even come up with a name, they see the craftsmanship, and the craftsmanship, they respect it, and and this is what is really interesting, is that because they respect the craftsmanship, then they can give themselves some time to dive into it. And funny enough, because we do slow art and that we do a film, we tend to drag you in the film, to capture your attention better, and that go over these 5 seconds, and that even most of the people watch the film until the end. And we discovered now that when you're watching a film, we're putting your brain into alpha state, and alpha state is this state you are when you are meditating. So it's a lot of things that are just looking at art, and that's the therapeutic thing. Underneath, you will have some case studies. If you're interested, just reach out. I can share them with you. There is the report from the WHO, which was where they aggregate knowledge from all over the world. And it's just the knowledge, the scientific knowledge of all these, the impact of art on our health and well-being. And you have the two hospitals, Cleveland Clinic and Chelsea, where they did some. But since I've done that page, there's been more and more. There is a lot happening now. There are more and more hospitals who are acknowledging the fact that we should put art, and they're even now commissioning artists to do, frescoes and at the entrance or things like this. So it is becoming at least acknowledged. Now they have to, of course, find the money from many of them to bring art in these spaces. But it's in countries like in America, it's becoming more open. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share, some examples. And if you go underneath, you will see that's one of our films. This is a typical slow art film produced by in-house by Ikono, which is really and the thing is that you can't see it here because it's a PDF. But if you go on our channels and you look for slow art films, you will have a big collection of them, because we did produce over 2,500 of them. So you have a lot to do.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. Now I think let's think about future. Joe, Elizabeth, what integration of art you can dream of for schools or workplaces, for example? Joe, what do you think?
Well, I know there was a study done about when you get a group of people in the same room, and for example, if you have if you get actors, let's say actors or anybody in a room, and you look at each other's eyes, for 30 seconds, a minute or so, you start to become together in breath and heartbeat. And I know in rhythm, when we work, for example, all these diverse kids, they're all over the place. They come out of their houses. A lot of them are stressed. They can't sleep right. They don't eat right. And they come into a class, not only of mine, but let's just say a movement class. They, again, I try, like I said before, for them to find themselves, but they're all sharing the same thing. And so not only are they becoming more in touch with themselves, but they're sharing each other. And in tap dancing specifically, that beat gets inside you and you become hooked up. So when these actors and different people start doing these exercises, and I have my high school theater group, the heartbeat hooks up together. And they start becoming so close and becoming almost one that for me is what most young people and people don't experience. They don't experience this slow down. Is that me? Is that you? Are we the same? And a lot of it for me, it strips away the other. It strips away pointing fingers and fear. So I think for me, the teaching of the arts is so empowering that I think, in America, I don't know about other countries, we've stopped using art to educate, to heal, for these young people to grow. Because we don't all learn alike. We all can't sit behind a desk and learn. But when you get in your body, that natural instrument kind of comes out and it transforms them and transposes them. So this art of the great people, I loved it, Elizabeth. It's because a stomp, right? Every country has some kind of folklorical stomping, and that is throughout the globe, the universe. And I really feel that if that rhythm hooks up somehow, we all can hook up. And I know that sounds a little esoteric, but it's really not, because again, the breath and the heartbeat hooks up when people are in the same room listening to a story being shared, an impassioned story being shared. Everyone becomes simpatico. So I would like to see that more in the schools, and that's what I kind of try to do when I'm working with these kids.
If I may add, Joe, because what I love what you're doing is, and what
you're breaking up, Elizabeth. I couldn't.
Saying is that we have to bring that to everybody.
Say that again, please.
And in fact, we don't.
I guess internet is not so
need
strong.
To be oh. You don't hear me?
No.
It's breaking. Yeah, now it's better. Now it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just want to add that it comes back to what I was saying when I was giving the example of this very old hospital from the 12th century, when we were seeing everything as holistically. We have to come back to this holistic way. Yeah. You should not be teaching only to the kids in the Bronx or whatsoever. You should be teaching everywhere, in every single places. Yes. And we should stop saying, oh, Joe is the nice guy who is going to help us to tap. We have to see that it's a necessity to have Joe to help us to tap, because for me, the definition of art, which brings to well-being, is to get back to contact with ourselves. And that's the problem we're having in the world. Everybody is disconnected. And because we're disconnected with one of others, but mainly with ourselves, we do stupid things, and we are out of the normal wave we should be, the normal frequency we should be. And this is, you know, what I think art is a necessity and not just a nice thing to have.
Agreed, agreed, agreed.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for all those who are leaving these beautiful messages in our chat. I think that we are like synchronizing in our heartbeat, and all this chemistry starting to work. Now, if you don't mind, Joe, I would like to ask you to bring some magic to our meeting, and let's experiment if Zoom can work also in synchronization mode, and we can feel better our bodies with your art.
Yeah. Can you help me make my screen bigger? I just can't see everybody. So not that it matters, but I would love. So everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you if you can if you have enough room, can you stand up? So I'm going to move away from my chair and just stand up. Yeah, I know this might be hard for some of you, but at a lot of conferences where I teach, they're great conferences and people are just amazing, but a lot of them come from here, right? So when I go to the conference, they ask me to try to get them here and here, right? So I try to get them away from their chairs. So in Zoom, it's going to be a little delayed, but this is what, Liz, tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that? So watch what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring you through it. I'm going to go like this. Listen to this one time. I'm going to go. Could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to go foot clap. That's all we're going to do. Well, first we're going to do 3 stomps. We're going to go foot, 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 right? Right, left, right. So everybody, and right, left, right. Okay? So it's foot, 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 or 1, and. So it's foot, foot, foot. 1, ready? Let's try it again. Ready? And. Yeah, okay. So after the second foot, we're going to clap. Watch. Let me do it once. Watch. So we have 3 foot, but there's a clap after the second one before the third one. So one more time. Listen to it. It goes foot, foot, clap, foot. Yes? Try it. Try it. Give it a shot. Let's try it one more time. So it's going to be foot, foot, clap, foot. 1. Everybody try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Again. 1, 2. Here we go. And yeah, nice. Okay, so one more thing we're going to do, and we're going to go hit, clap. So it's going to be hit, clap. Yeah. Hit, clap. So the whole thing is like this. Hi, Donaldi. The whole thing is like this. Foot, clap, foot, hit, clap. So let's listen to it one time. It goes like this. Did you hear it? Foot, clap, foot, hit, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Yeah. Okay. So let's One more time. Foot, foot clap, foot, hit, clap. 1, 2. Here we go. And Yeah, how'd that go? Nice. I see some that, yes, yes. Can you hear it? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Last thing before you sit. Last thing before you sit. Let's just go. Let's just do this. Say this after I repeat it. I am enough.
I am enough.
Let's say it one more time. I am enough.
I am enough.
Last time. I am enough.
I am enough.
Beautiful. There we go. Yeah. I think those are some powerful words. And I think we forget. I think we forget how wonderful we really are, especially in everything that's going on. So I always have my students say, before they go on stage, just say, I am enough. And we do that and go around. And it's for me, it's been a very powerful, 3 words, mantra kind of thing. And I really believe it. I really, truly believe that. So I don't know, you guys cool? But how do you feel after just being in your body for 30 seconds, 45 seconds? You feel a little bit, you feel up, you feel alive, you feel just, yeah. So it's just good to feel this thing we have, to hit it, to play, right? There's all this kind of stuff we can play. Yeah, okay.
Wow. Here we say, que rico.
Que rico, que rico. Vaya.
Yes, absolutely. And I should remind that dance is the only art where we can use our body as our instrument. We don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Our body. Yeah, cool. That was amazing. Thank you, Joe. We should do it every day. Do it every day, guys. And now, if you have questions, suggestions, comments, let's speak a little bit before we will go to save the world. Maybe questions, maybe your real life experiences when art was really medicine for you. Yeah? Okay, don't be shy. Elaine? Yeah? Yeah, let's unmute microphone. Yeah.
Yeah. Many years ago, after I had surgery for a malignant melanoma, somebody gave me a drawing book, and I hadn't drawn for a long time. And I just began drawing just with pen and ink, and it was a hugely therapeutic process. So, yeah. And then I took that work further later when I did training with 4 Dutch therapists. And that's the work I do, bridging polarities through art. Wow. Yeah, huge healing. And thank you for the movement.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing it. And I see a wonderful painting behind you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your art. Yes, guys. Somebody else who have some suggestions, maybe some thoughts on what we are speaking about today? Yeah.
No question, just a comment. I'm just loving everything that's in the session, and I just want to say there's just so much power in the work that you're doing, and so much inspiration. And I put in a comment, in dark times, it's usually art and artists that are the first to go, and grateful for your presence and the opportunity to be part of this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, maybe somebody else have also some some real life situation when art was healing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to
Somebody?
share my, yeah. So I typed it in the comments, but I'd still like to talk about it. So in 2009, I lost my mom, and the house was empty back then. So a couple of friends of mine came over and we made music for a long time, I think about a year or so. So that really helped to see me through the whole process of grieving and all. So I really encourage a lot of people to get involved in using art to, share your pain and experience healing through sharing that pain. So this is really beautiful work going on here, and I'm proud to be part of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's amazing, guys. If you maybe need our help or something in what we can be helpful, Komi has our contacts, and you also have our LinkedIn accounts in chat. Please contact us if somehow we can be helpful online during some events that you're organizing, or you need some advice or just some instruments to also to bring art to people, to make them feel better. We are here for you. And I think that Catalyst is an amazing community where people really sharing their experience, their expertise to make this world better. And if somebody else has questions, please let's do it. Or you can ask these questions in chat if you are shy enough to to say it out loud or something. Yeah, thank you so much. And maybe
in the meantime, Anna, I just want to maybe add the fact that yes, this session was about well-being, but because we're in the context of Catalyst, I really want to, repeat what you and I, with some great people, we did create with Artsy, which was with this idea that we can maybe come and just look at all these problems from a completely different point of view, in order, and maybe join also some actors from different SDGs, that they work maybe better also together, and that you can basically knock at our door and use us if we can be of any help, just to first listen and see if maybe we have an artist, whatever, it's a visual or writer or musician, who could come to open up the your thoughts. As I know that Catalyst is most of the time more looking into, of course, policies and things like this, but they definitely look at trying to make a better world and a better consciousness of all these problems. And as I said, we really definitely have to look at them in a holistic way.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that now we are too much brain, exactly how what Joe was saying. We need not to forget about our body and really feel that art, we are pieces of art, actually.
Yeah.
And art is a part of our nature, and to feel our DNA in order, we need to be filled with art. We need to be surrounded with art. We need to communicate with artists. We need to feel this joy from creation process. So I think that we did a lot today. We saw a lot of case studies. We discussed. We moved our bodies, and that is amazing. That is fantastic. And yeah, please contact us if you feel that you need help, or you want to give help to us or to join our initiative somehow. Yeah, and thank you so much for spending this time with us. And I give this imaginary microphone back to Komi. Oh, wow.
Okay, thank you for your participation in our session. So please spend 1 or 2 minutes to tell us how engaging this space was for you. And while you are filling the survey, please bookmark Social Change Innovator websites to explore a wealth of information and resources created by and for social entrepreneurs around the world. Also, we have Wellbeing collaboration. Catalyst 2030 members can join fellow change maker by proposing a new collaboration or joining the existing ones and explore, connect with and join existing Wellbeing collaborations via the list in the chats. And at Catalyst, we have a Medium page showcasing social innovation and provides actionable insights from practitioners around the world. So we invite you to share your best work and will advance your mission of igniting system change for positive social change. And finally, join the Catalyst 2030 community, one of the fastest growing movement in the world. And we wish everyone peace and energy to keep up your great work. Before leaving, how about saying thank you in our mother tongue to each other? Merci. How about saying thank you to each other in our mother tongue?
Salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless.